Prime Minister and Finance Minister Datuk Seri Najib Razak today announced Budget 2010. Among the key points which have been announced are maximum individual income tax rates will be further reduced from the year of assessment in 2010 to 26% from 27% at present. Personal relief from the year of assessment in 2010 will increase to 9,000 ringgit from 8,000 ringgit presently, which will translate to an additional increase of 1,000 ringgit in disposable income for each taxpayer. While personal income tax for people working and residing in the Iskandar region in Johor would be lowered to 15% to encourage development in the area. The government will also increase the personal tax relief for EPF contributions and life insurance premiums to 7,000 ringgit from 6,000 ringgit at present. The increase of 1,000 ringgit would apply for relief on annuity premiums paid from 1st of January 2010 for retirement schemes offered by insurance companies. To control credit card spending, the government will reintroduce a 50 ringgit yearly service tax on each principal credit and charged card, including to those which are issued free of charge. For supplementary cardholders, the yearly service fee will cost 25 ringgit. The government had initially introduced such taxes in 1997, but it was abolished from April of 2001. A 5% tax from the sales of properties would also be introduced from next year to broaden the government's tax base. This tax is collected through a withholdings mechanism whereby the purchaser withholds 2% of the purchase value and pays to the Inland Revenue Board. An exemption of up to 10,000 ringgit or 10% of the gains, whichever is the higher, will be given to individuals. This real property gains tax would not apply for properties that are gifts between parent and child, husband and wife, grandparent and grandchild. The tax would also be exempted for the disposal of the residential property once in a lifetime for a person who is a citizen or permanent resident of the country. The share market will be further liberalized to attract more foreign investments. Among steps which will be taken are to liberalize the commission sharing agreements between stockbrokers and remisiers in 2 stages to encourage retail participation in the stock market. The first stage allows flexible brokerage sharing at a minimum rate of 40% for remisiers. The commission sharing will be fully liberalized in the second stage from January 2011. The government will also allow 100% foreign equity participation in corporate finance and financial planning companies from at least a 30% local shareholding at present. All public listed companies will also have to offer e-dividend to their shareholders to increase efficiency of the payment system, while stockbroking companies would have to provide the e-payment option for clients to receive and make payments. To further develop the Islamic banking sector in the country, stamp duties on Islamic financing instruments will be exempted 20%. Tax will also be exempt on banking profits derived from overseas operations and profits of insurance and takaful companies derived from overseas operations. To increase broadband penetration rates, individual taxpayers will be given a tax relief on broadband subscription fees of up to 500 ringgit per year from 2010 to 2012. Broadband speeds of 10 megabytes per second will be available in selected areas in KL and Selangor by end of March 2010. These broadband speeds will be subsequently extended to other selected areas nationwide between the 2010 and 2012. Civil servants will now be able to apply for computer loans of a maximum of 5,000 ringgit once every 3 years instead of once every 5 years before. Meanwhile, Najib also announced that the government will implement a fuel subsidy management system early next year using the identity card or My Card to ensure fuel subsidies only go to targeted groups of people. Workers would also be able to increase their EPF contributions to 11% again voluntarily after the government allowed a voluntary reduction to 8% for 2 years last year because of the economic crisis. All EPF contributions will revert to the original 11% again from 2011. All EPF contributors would also be able to utilize current and future savings in accounts too under a scheme which will be launched in January 2010 to obtain higher financing to purchase higher value or additional houses. This scheme aims to increase the purchasing power of EPF contributors and is limited to the purchase of one house at any one time and subject to conditions stipulated by the EPF. The government will also impose 10,000 ringgit for each approved permit or AP to open AP holders in 2010. Part of the proceeds of this collection will be channeled to the Bumiputra Development Fund in the automotive sector. On another matter, Najib says the government is in the final stages of completing the study on the implementation of the Goods and Services Tax or GST, identifying the social impact of the imposition of these taxes on the people. He adds that the GST would be lower than and replace the current sales and service tax rates. To boost the fight against corruption, 14 special corruption sessions courts and 4 special corruption appeal high courts would also be established, from 4 in KL and Shah Alam at present. A Whistleblower Act would be formulated to provide immunity to informers from civil or criminal charges.